back to our channel where we provide updates and undisclosed narratives on the royal family. We provide you with the exciting news Meghan in tears over Harry's U.S. dream is dying turns, planning a solo return to the U.K. According to a report, there have been more and more reports of problems, both personal and professional, affecting the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. This has coincided with a series of public comments by Prince Harry that many people have interpreted as raising questions about whether the United States will remain his permanent home and whether he might be thinking about moving back to the United Kingdom. These events have happened as Prince William, the Prince of Wales, has been on a well-publicized trip to South America to promote his environmental project, the Earthshot Prize. Putting these two storylines next to each other, William's public successes and the Sussexes' reported struggles has made for a complicated media narrative. Some people have even accused Prince Harry of planning events in a way that seems to be meant to draw attention away from his brother's work. There are a number of things that feed into that story: harsh coverage from Hollywood and celebrity-focused media, a mixed and often hostile public response to Prince Harry's recent trip to Canada, and the Duke's own public comments about how he feels about being British. All of these things have led to a bigger discussion about the couple's place in American culture and business, the strength of their personal relationship, and the choices they might make about where to live and work in the future, now that 5 years have passed since they moved to California. U.S. entertainment news has been full of accusations of losing power and having problems at work. A Page 6 article in the New York Post's Celebrity and Gossip section, quoting many unnamed industry experts, says that the Sussexes are having a lot of trouble maintaining and growing their presence in Hollywood's media and entertainment ecosystem. The report quotes unidentified people who provide forthright opinions, such as, "There is not just little taste left for them in L.A., but they have also worn down whatever goodwill they had. And people are sick of them. The act has become boring." These kinds of comments, which come from unnamed sources, paint a picture of the couple's popularity waning and cynicism developing about how useful they are to business partners. The Page 6 article goes beyond generic criticisms and makes more specific claims about how professionals should act. Those sources say that the couple's conduct in business situations has been regarded as poor or harmful to working together. The article tells a detailed story about a meeting with Netflix officials. The Sussexes signed a multi-year production deal with Netflix in 2020. According to the source, Prince Harry was late to the meeting and then asked a corporate executive for a cup of hot chocolate. That story isn't new to Page 6's current research. Vanity Fair also covered it, quoting a Spotify employee who remembered personnel rushing to get hot cocoa while the Duke was using the audio platform. By showing this event as part of a trend, the pieces create a picture disputed and attributed to unknown sources of practices that, according to those speakers, have become tiresome for partners. The Page 6 article also had sharp comments on how Meghan Markle does her job. Quoted views describe her as convinced she's wiser than everyone and dismissive, and the one in the pair that controls everything. This fits with a common way of covering her that shows her as bossy in the relationship. Because these sources are anonymous, it's hard to verify these claims on your own. However, they have helped create a public perception, at least among some parts of the entertainment press and some British tabloids, that the Sussexes' ability to turn their royal fame into long-lasting success in Los Angeles and beyond has been hit or miss at best. The arc of their cooperation with Spotify is a good illustration of this inconsistency. They signed an agreement with Spotify under the name Archewell Audio to make a number of podcasts. But in practice, the partnership ended in 2023 after only one major series, Archetypes. Critics have used the fact that the partnership produced so little content, along with negative public comments from people like Bill Simmons, a senior podcast executive at Spotify, who called the couple grifters after the deal ended, as proof that the partnership was losing commercial traction. Page 6 and similar sites say that Simmons' feelings may be a sign of a bigger drop in interest among media executives and creative gatekeepers who were formerly prepared to back the Sussexes' initiatives. Some news stories about that corporate retreat say that it is part of a bigger change by companies that first regarded the couple's prominence as a business opportunity. After all, streaming platforms and studios are companies that look at stats, engagement, and return on investment. If audience interest drops or production slows down, it becomes tougher to justify collaborations. The Sussexes made big headlines in the early post-royal era with deals with Spotify, Netflix, and other possible business partners. These deals promised to change their public responsibilities into a media and philanthropy business model. The fact that that business concept is taking longer to come to fruition than planned has led to stories that paint the pair as overextended or out of touch with what the industry expects. Commentators and watchers have quickly pointed out the timing of these Sussex castings. These damning headlines and descriptions have come out at the same time as Prince William's work in South America has gotten mostly good news. This difference has made a clear story. Many news outlets are showing the heir to the throne as doing a good job as a global leader focused on conservation and climate issues, while his younger brother is shown as having trouble at work and in his personal life. Some analysts think that the bad press about the Sussexes could be one reason why Prince Harry has been thinking about identity and belonging in public lately. They say that problems at work and feeling alone in California could be making him rethink both his career and his home life. The Duke's latest publications make the issue of reappraisal more apparent. Prince Harry wrote an article called "The Bond, the Banter, the Bravery, What It Means to be British," that was sent out to newswires around the world to coincide with Remembrance Day and Veterans Day. In this piece, which was meant to honor military veterans, especially wounded Ukrainian soldiers, he met at the Superhumans Rehab Hospital in Kiev. The Duke talked about the things he admires in the people he met and how those things relate to Britain. For example, he remarked, "These folks reminded me that courage is not the absence of fear, but the victory of purpose over it." He also compared the stoic attitude of self-deprecation and humor among Ukrainians to a similar spirit he sees in the British. Most of the coverage of that article focused on a specific line in which the Duke made it clear that he still loves Britain while also acknowledging his current living situation. "Though I currently live in the United States, Britain is and always will be the country I proudly served and fought for." True, the word currently, which is just a simple time marker, became the center of attention for analysis, with some media and royal commentators interpreting it as the start of a story in which Harry is thinking about whether or not he wants to stay in the United States for good. Tom Sykes, the editor of the Daily Beast royal newsletter, the royalist, said directly that the wording is likely to spark speculation that Harry doesn't see America as his forever home. Showing other comments from the Duke, such as those made in a podcast interview, where he said he had no plans to become a U.S. citizen, right away supported this view. People in the UK had different reactions to this display of nostalgia, and the Duke's claim that he was fundamentally British. Some people there have been dismissive or doubtful, saying that the Duke's latest comments are an effort to get back in the good graces of a British public that he and his wife have occasionally ridiculed. Some others think that parts of the couple's 2022 Netflix documentary series, Harry and Meghan, when they spoke about the UK's choice to exit the European Union, were disrespectful to the British people as a whole. Those same critics wonder if the new praise for British banter and cultural practices is a real sign of homesickness or a planned change of direction to improve public relations during tough times in the U.S. Some people have taken that line of thought farther and started to guess more personally about the status of the Sussexes' marriage. Other news sources and experts have spread unconfirmed allegations that the couple's relationship is in trouble, and other stories say that Prince Harry could be thinking about going back to the UK without his wife. He looks for the comfort and familiarity of a place he used to work as a senior royal. These ideas are only guesses and haven't been proven in public, but they keep coming up in stories that connect the couple's changing professional fortunes to what others think is going on at home. There has also been a lot of talk about when Prince Harry should make public appearances. The Duke's recent trip to Canada was very close in time to Prince William's high-stakes tour of South America to promote the Earthshot Prize. This is a major project William started to find, promote, and scale solutions to environmental problems. In the past, royal etiquette required careful planning of diaries to make sure that important activities for senior members of the royal family didn't happen on the same day. This way, each event would get clear and focused media attention. The Sussexes are no longer part of the internal scheduling system since they stepped aside from their position as working royals. Critics, on the other hand, say that planning a multi-day, high-profile trip to a Commonwealth country around the same time that the heir apparent is leading one of his biggest overseas efforts of the year shows either a lack of respect for those customs or, more maliciously, a planned effort to steal coverage from William. Critics say that Prince Harry, who has been around royal calendars and media cycles for a long time, could have chosen other dates for his engagements in Canada if he didn't want them to overlap. They think that the choice to stick with the current timetable is childish attention-seeking or even vengeful in effort to wreck his brother's fame by dividing the public's and the press's attention. Some commentators have called for a kind of media self-imposed blackout on reporting the Duke's trip to Canada. Their reasoning is that covering the visit would be playing into his hands, which would reward what they see as a cynical ambush. Prince Harry's tour to Toronto included a number of activities meant to help the Canadian Armed Forces and veterans. However, the visit met with considerable public apathy and online outrage, which shows how fragile his support is in certain areas. Reports from Canada's CTV News and Britain's Daily Mail brought attention to a lot of social media comments that showed how annoyed people were with certain parts of the Duke's recent public image. A lot of the complaints online were about a supposedly embarrassing time when the Duke and Duchess went to a World Series baseball game in the U.S. and were pictured cheering for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Some Canadians on social media used the fact that the Blue Jays are Toronto's franchise as proof of insensitivity or bad timing. One remark was, "Will he be wearing his LA Dodgers hat a week late?" The second of which suggested that the couple's sports allegiances were not in line with their upcoming trip to Canada. The jokes that were posted weren't just about being a lover of sports. They were used to show a bigger problem with how the couple prioritized things and fit into their culture. A common response that summed up a hostile point of view was, "Who really cares? Stop giving free publicity to a very rich, very privileged, very spoiled narcissist who was upset with his own father, who just so happens to be the King of Canada." While these statements do not represent the views of all Canadians or any organized majority, they do show that Prince Harry's ability to win over people in a Commonwealth country, where his past role in the Invictus-related community might have earned him respect, has been weakened in some circles. People who saw the Dodgers hat incident and spoke about it said it was mostly seen as a self-inflicted public relations mistake. Some people even said, without proof, that Meghan Markle had anything to do with it. Also, there is a story going around that Prince Harry doesn't like seeing pictures of their kids posted online. This story hasn't been substantiated, but it is another sign of reported problems between the pair. Meghan Markle has had real business success in a different area, lifestyle retail, despite all the bad press about her work and her appearances. Oprah Winfrey's annual holiday gift list, Oprah's Favorite Things, included her brand American Riviera Orchard, which sells specialty jams and preserves. OprahDaily.com included a boxed set of the brand's orange marmalade, raspberry and strawberry preserves with a personal endorsement from Winfrey. Before my neighbor Meghan started her business, she shared her homemade recipes with us. I like to sprinkle it over ice cream yogurt or an English muffin. I also like to give a hostess gift of jam or preserves. And with this lovely box set, all you have to do is add a bow, and you're good to go. This list includes a lot of things that have a big impact on American culture and business, so it's a big boost for the product line. American Riviera Orchard released a statement that many people think Meghan Markle wrote. It said, "We're over the moon to spread the news. We're honored to be included in this season's quintessential guide to gifting." This endorsement is important because it brings back a relationship with Oprah Winfrey that has had its ups and downs. Oprah's 2021 televised interview with the Sussexes was a global media sensation, giving the couple a chance to air their grievances about the royal family, which led to accusations of racism and neglect. That show was a big success for Winfrey, and it made her seem like she was on the same side as the Sussexes. However, in the years that followed, onlookers saw that Winfrey's public closeness to the couple seemed to fade. As the Sussexes faced more and more criticism, she didn't always publicly defend them or work with them on other high-profile projects. Tom Sykes and other analysts have said that Oprah's current focus on Meghan's jam is proof of a transactional, if not intimate, ongoing relationship. They say that being on Oprah's list is more of a sign of business convenience than a full return to a political or social alliance. Sykes and other critics have called the endorsement a jam jar gesture, which is a small business-oriented expression of support that doesn't always mean a strong emotional or ideological re-engagement. That framing has led to discussion about whether the endorsement may lead to more partnerships, like a media initiative or an interview, or if it is just a kind business gesture. Some people have questioned the product's ordinariness compared to the carefully chosen and frequently expensive things on Oprah's list. They have wondered whether the pick was a real show of support or a well-thought-out, maybe neutral commercial choice. Prince William's Earthshot prize trip in South America, on the other hand, has gotten mostly good press and has been seen as a sign of his rising importance as a worldwide leader in environmental issues. Williams started the Earthshot Prize in 2020. Its goal is to find, speed up, and grow new ideas that will help solve important environmental challenges. The main part of the initiative is an annual awards event that honors finalists and winners from all around the globe and gives them tools and connections to help them grow their work. The Prince of Wales gave a big speech during his recent trip to Brazil that focused on the issue of environmental crime and how it is linked to deforestation in the Amazon. He spoke about a lot of different people who have spoken out about the problems and the hope that still exists. These included indigenous leaders and government ministers, business CEOs, and environmental crime specialists. He warned about the scale and profitability of environmental crime, saying that, in the past year alone, over 1.7 million hectares of the Amazon were cleared across this region, much of which is driven by illicit activity. Many media outlets have seen the combination of a strong speech and the Earthshot Prize's ability to bring people together as proof that William is doing important work that affects the whole world. The good response to Prince William's trip, notably from important American media, has made the difference between how his younger brother is covered even bigger. William is being portrayed in numerous stories as someone who is leaving a lasting legacy by bringing together specialists and donors, pushing for conservation measures, and taking on a leadership position on the world stage. On the other hand, Prince Harry is being portrayed as having a career that is unclear and public support that is changing. This comparison has sparked discussions in commentary circles about the brothers' paths. William is often seen as finding a long-term positive role in public life, while Harry is often seen as struggling with what to do next, both in his career and in his personal life. The Prince and Princess of Wales traveled and did official work in the months leading up to and during the Earthshot tour. They also had to deal with the death of Ben Duncan, a former classmate from their time at St. Andrews University, who later became known to the public as a contestant on the reality TV show Big Brother. Duncan died after falling from a hotel in London, and his death was a sad time for the couple amid a hectic time of public activity overseas. That event reminded me that public and private lives are connected, and that times of grieving may stop or change the course of official business. When you look at all the many reports and comments combined, they show that the two royal brothers' public lives are quite different from each other. People are saying that Prince William's path is steady and intentional, and he is becoming more aware of global concerns that have real policy effects. Many people see him as acting like a statesman and leaving behind a serious and important legacy in the public eye. In contrast, the current coverage of Prince Harry shows that he is on a more difficult and uncertain path. This is because of professional disappointments, such as the limited benefits of high-profile media deals, and a lack of enthusiasm among industry partners, as well as a public relations environment that shows frustration or skepticism in places where his figure might have once commanded more automatic respect. In that light, Prince Harry's views on British identity and his use of words like now to indicate where he lives have become strong symbols for two different ways of looking at things. One way to look at the comments is as an honest confession of how much he misses the cultural and social environment he left behind when the couple moved to California. Some critics, on the other hand, see them as proof that a guy is changing how he presents himself to the public, because he is not getting as much attention and is having trouble in his career in the United States. The latter interpretation is substantiated by the timing of the remarks in connection with scathing news from Page 6 and social media discontent in Canada, alongside the prominent success of Prince William's Earthshot campaign. It's crucial to remember that a lot of the stories about the Sussexes come from anonymous sources, biased commentary, and the way celebrity and royal news works in cycles. The Page 6 article's sources from the industry are not named, and claims about the couple's internal disagreements and marital problems are not backed up by public records. Celebrity reporting often uses stories and character assessments that show the frustrations of certain people rather than clear factual histories. Even still, the combined impact of all these reports, lots of column inches and social media chatter, affects how others see the marriage and may have real effects on their business partnerships, charitable efforts, and decisions about where and how to live and work. The differences aren't just about reputation. They may also affect the Sussexes' ability to make agreements, get charitable and corporate partners, and turn their media and advocacy goals into businesses that can grow. The end of the Spotify deal after just one big series, the mixed commercial reception of other projects, and the need to deal with a reputation landscape that isn't always friendly have all put pressure on the couple's future choices. At the same time, the fact that Oprah Winfrey gave the pair a high-profile endorsement, even if some people say it was just a formality or a business deal, shows that they still have access to powerful cultural gatekeepers. Meghan's preserves being on Oprah's gift recommendations is a clear example of commercial validation that could be used to get more people to see and buy the brand. No matter what you think Oprah's reasons were, the fact that she could still give such an endorsement shows that there are still ways to make money, even if they are less clear or more dependent than they were during the immediate post-royal honeymoon period when many big deals were being talked about. At the same time, Prince William's work on the environment has made him more popular with the public and set a standard for what a modern royal figure can do: a mix of advocacy, the ability to bring people together, and public-facing leadership on issues that are important to the public. Many people think that the Earthshot Prize is a way to identify and promote answers, which gives William a strong platform that many people feel makes him a serious candidate for the throne who cares about leaving a legacy. That story has good media dynamics, especially when you compare it to the more volatile and personality-driven coverage that has followed the Sussexes' royal activities. To sum up, the recent publications and public comments show that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are under more strain than ever, and that their public image has changed in relation to other members of the royal family. The circulation of critical industry anecdotes and anonymous negative commentary in celebrity press, the mixed reception of Prince Harry's Canadian visit and associated social media backlash, the resurfacing of conversation about the couple's private life and the stewardship of family images, the juxtaposition of Prince William's high-profile Earthshot engagement and its positive reception, and the curious blend of feints of commercial success, such as Meghan's inclusion on Oprah's list, together form a multifaceted portrait of an embattled public position. As a result, two different stories have come out in British and foreign media. One portrays Prince William as a unifying and respectable public figure, fulfilling a role consistent with the principles of royal responsibility and global stewardship. The other shows Prince Harry as a man dealing with a broken set of job possibilities, a troubled personal life, and a reevaluation of his national identity and future home. Whether those storylines become long-term realities depends on a lot of things, like where the Sussexes choose to live, how they change or improve their business and charity strategies, whether they can find long-term profitable partnerships, and how well they can handle the constant public scrutiny that comes with everything they do. For now, the public record includes both confirmed events like the end of the Spotify deal in 2023, Oprah's endorsement of Meghan's jams, Prince William's public Earthshot engagements and speech about the 1.7 million hectares of Amazon deforestation caused in part by illegal activity, and the couple's move to California 5 years ago, and a lot of interpretive, anonymous, or speculative reporting. Many recent comments suggest that this is a turning point. If the Sussexes want to get back into stable long-term roles in media, philanthropy, or business, they will have to deal with both outside doubt and competition, as well as the dynamics of their partnership and their relationship with the royal family they used to work for. In the end, the order of events and stories that have been reported on lately brings up some important considerations about identity, belonging, and mission. To what extent does public attitude in Britain, North America, and the broader Commonwealth determine a former royal's options? How can fame and royalty translate or not translate into long-lasting economic models in an entertainment industry that values both newness and dependability? And how will the feelings of family personal memories and national pride affect real choices about where to live and what to do? Those questions are still unanswered, and they will probably continue to be the focus of news and commentary for a long time to come. This is because the two brothers are taking very different paths that are being closely watched, and the Sussexes are still dealing with the challenges and opportunities of a public life that is mostly lived in front of a global media ecosystem. Thank you for watching the video. Please let us know your thoughts and goodbye for now.